So says Joy Sengupta, who is an actor, director, and a teacher. So, Joy, can you give us a brief of your career?
Look, I started in theatre in the year 1992. Yeah, when I was just out of college. I formed my own theatre group. I was also part of another theatre group. So I was doing theatre with my own group and with a group where I was a participant. Added to that, I was also employed as a teacher of theatre in education in a particular school in Delhi called Bluebell School. I taught there children ranging from class 1 to class 12. I taught there for almost 4 years, teaching, directing, workshopping, etc. etc. I also used to take projects in other schools and colleges and social working organizations. I was also working using my art and imagination in fields of designing and puppetry and stuff like that. So after coming out of college, first 4 years of my life was filled with, as you can see, practicing of my art, teaching of my art, and also trying to learn other art forms which are connected to my art. Along with that, I also decided to go and learn the higher platform of learning in my field of acting, creativity, theater, aesthetics, etc. So I joined an institute called Living Theatre Academy, where I studied the art of drama and the art of acting for almost 4 years. So simultaneously, while I was studying, I was also working. I was doing voicing for mediums of documentary, of animation films, of commercials, ad commercials, etc. When I came out of my institute after studying for 4 years of theatre, I immediately got into the world of television, where I was acting, of course. I was anchoring some shows. I was hosting some shows. I was also doing certain game shows at that time, where I will use my acting skills to be part of game shows and stuff. So I was doing all of that in the field of television for the first 4 5 years of my life. Then my theatre continued. I was doing professional theatre. In other words, I was earning from doing theatre. Somewhere along the way, I got selected to do a film, which got a national award and some international acclaim. So my career in cinema took off from there. So I started, as I said, in theatre. I trained in theatre. I taught theatre. I got into television from there. From there, I got into cinema. And my journey in cinema was in 3 languages. I was doing cinema in Hindi. I was doing cinema in my mother tongue, which is Bengali. And I was also doing a little bit of films in English. Somewhere along the way, I got a chance to work with BBC Radio 4. I was doing plays for BBC Radio 4, plays which were related to India, so India-centric, but it was relayed in BBC Radio 4 in London. I did some work for them. I did a lot of ad commercials. I did about 55 ad commercials along the way. And then in last 4 5 years, I've also got into web series. I'm doing a lot of web series. So currently, I'm doing a series called Arya, which is coming on Hotstar Disney. I used to do a lot of voicing. I was voiced Captain America in Hindi for the entire Avengers series. So my career has been very varied, as you can see. I worked in 5 different mediums. I I still teach. I teach students who are in business schools. I teach them creative communication. I teach in colleges. I teach cinema and art appreciation. I take workshops on acting with theater groups and organizations. I take corporate workshops in various elements of theater is used there to help them to gain confidence, trust, group building, etc., etc. So I balance all these things with my acting in different ways. So it's been more than 25 years. So yes, you can call it a career.
Great. So, what was your main motivation to pursue acting?
Yeah. You see, it has to be a calling from inside. There are certain work or profession which cannot be defined only by planning or strategy. That when I grow up, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be a pilot, or I'm going to be an engineer. Uh, Art cannot be defined like that. Art has to be a calling from inside. You have to first understand and appreciate your own talent. One. Two, you have to recognize that you have it in you. Take this talent forward. Three, you have to work on that talent. In other words, you have to get professional help, training, teaching. And four, you must be sure that this is something that you can use in the longer run and make it into a career. So these are the four things which is involved when you work in the field of arts and entertainment. In my case, I got aware about my talent from a very young age in school, almost when I was in KG. My teachers kept telling me that I have a flair for uh, creativity and acting. Later on, when I was a teenager, I realized that I have the talent to not only act but to create. I used to write plays, I used to direct plays in my school. Later on, before leaving school, my teachers actually encouraged me and told me that I should look into this skill and this talent of mine seriously. So in college, I became part of the Dramatic Society. I did a lot of plays, which was taken to various inter-college festivals where we won awards. When I came out of college, we converted our Dramatic Society into a theater group. In other words, we were performing outside now for ticketed audiences. Along with that, because I was serious about it, I understood my skill, my talent, and I was serious about pursuing this as my life. And when I say life, I mean in the field of art, career and life is one and the same. In other fields, a person could be a civil servant working from 9 to 5, but after that, he could come home and he could be doing anything else. You know, same with engineers and doctors. You can pursue your profession and you can pursue your hobby. In the field of art and entertainment, the hobby and the profession and life becomes the same. It's the same thing. There is no separation. So in my case, I decided that I want to live in the world of art, ideas, creativity, imagination, whether it's theater, whether it's cinema, whether it's television, it doesn't matter. All of it doesn't matter. But this is the field, this is the world that I want to live in. This is where I was made of. This is where my confidence, my ability, my aspiration lies. So I went into it full-fledged. Once you go into it, once you start working, your work gets noticed. Once your work gets noticed, it gets talked about. Once it gets talked about, you get more work and it multiplies. And then it's up to you whether you can use these opportunities to project your talent, to project your skill, to help another person make a business out of it. So if somebody is making a film and has hired you, you should be able to render your service so well that that person's project becomes successful. Same with theater, same with radio, same with television. So this is how you establish yourself as a well trusted professional. And that's where your career takes off. And then there will never be any dearth of work if you're able to space yourself, if you're able to recognize your skills, if you're able to constantly learn, train, keep yourself on the growing loop and help project your skill in the right spaces where it can be utilized.
All right. So, what do you think are the opportunities that are available in the film industry today?
Look, we will not say film industry because, as I keep on repeating, the space is very, very vast. There are multiple mediums today. Digital medium, which has emerged now as the most important and successful medium in times of pandemic and this emergency, is a very vast medium. It has got cinema, it has got series, it has got limited series, it has got short films, it has got even podcasts are being seen and heard in them. So it's a massive, massive platform for various kinds of interests and skills to be stored and showcased. Today on online, you can watch a workshop, you can watch a teaching class, you can watch a performance, you can watch a play, you can see an interview. So everybody can use this space. And once you're in this field of performing arts, you can use your skill in many ways. You can be an anchor, you can be a host, you can be an interviewer, you can be a comic, you can make your own routines, or you can be part of films, or you can be part of telefilms, you can be part of series, you can do anything you want. It's a very, very vast space. And once creativity can be used as and when you want. You can write your own stuff, you can direct yourself, and you can put it out there. And if it's good, it will get the eyeballs, it will get you the revenue.
All right. So, what do you think? What guidance do you have for some students who are looking into pursuing this form of art?
First and foremost, you have to recognize and accept whether you have the necessary talent. That's the most important. Second, you have to ask yourself, if you have the talent, are you passionate about it? Just having a talent and going about it is not enough. You have to be fiercely passionate about it. The difference between this field and other fields is, in other fields, you can just go there, use your skill for a certain amount of time and forget about it. Get your monthly remuneration, forget about it. Not in this field. In this field, it is your passion which will drive you. You have to passionately follow it. There are no timelines in it. There are no deadlines in it. There are no specific hours of working. This is your life. So you have to conduct your life passionate. That's the second thing you have to ask yourself. Third thing you have to ask yourself is, do I have the determination and the patience to last? Because because this is a field where there are no tangible results. It's not like you are making something tangible. You're not creating a product which can be touched, felt, measured, bought, and sold. Your talent is an abstract thing. So how it will get recognized, when it will get recognized, what kind of opportunity it will spin depends on your determination and your patience. So that is something you have to ask yourself. Fourth thing is, you have to be in a constant mode of learning. You have to work hard. Having talent is not enough. You have to hone your talent. You have to add craft to it. You have to have the craft, because without your craft, you can never make use of the opportunity. And lastly, you must learn techniques. Without techniques, you cannot work in different mediums. Cinema needs different technique, television needs different technique, ad commercials need different technique, theater needs different technique. So you have to add technique. So there are many institutes of learning as far as formal training is concerned. If you are not interested in going into institutes, you can do serious theater, group theater, professional theater, whatever you want to do. Or you can straight away go to acting class. There are theaters courses which are there in colleges and universities in India and internationally. There are acting classes which are held professionally, which are short duration, long duration, and very long duration, like National School of Drama or FTII Pune, right? So these are the formal forms, but there are also informal forms, as I said, that you can learn through by doing theater, working with different directors. You can be learning. You have to constantly be in a mode of reading about your medium. If you're in theater and cinema, you have to keep reading about theater and cinema. Learn from reading about it. You have to watch theater, you have to watch cinema, you have to watch lots of work that is happening in the media to keep yourself tuned and abreast as to what kind of stuff that is happening and how you can contribute. So this is all a big graph, from the time you recognize your talent, to realizing your passion, to showing your determination, to going through formal learning, to going through informal learning, through going through teaching yourself constantly, to going through observing, and finally, you have to constantly hone your personality. You have to learn on the way. You have to learn from life. Because what you do as an actor is nothing but picking up from life and putting it out there in cinema and in theater and in series and all. So you have to observe life, you have to understand life, you have to analyze life, you have to be a very well-rounded personality to become a successful artist and entertainer.
All right. So thank you, Joy. Thank you so much for your time and good luck on your work.
Thank you so much. Take care.